Okay. So Thomas Kranz, founder and CEO of Blossom, said, "Good companies manage engineering and great companies manage product." Good morning to one and all present here and to the audience watching us live online. I'm Rishika Sharma and welcome to the sessions on Let's Talk Product. So yesterday when I was looking at the agenda, I was supposed to talk about product and I was thinking, what should I talk about product? Because there are so many perspectives. So then I thought to myself, let's make my task a little more easier. Why not I ask the audience of their opinions? So can someone from the audience tell me that one aspect for you which makes a product go from just a product to a successful product? Anyone? Like, any opinions? Come on. Oh, yeah. Gentleman over there on the last seat. Okay, absolutely. Policy, quality, yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all right. So we see we have so many different perspectives, right? So if I were to be asked the same question, I would say customer experience. So we all have different perspectives. So Seth Godin, the renowned author, said, "Don't find customers for your product, but find products for your customers." On that note, let's invite our very first speaker for the day, who's going to be talking about product mindset. So Mr. SUDIPTA Shah, practice lead digital engineering at Accenture, has over 2.5 decades of experience in the industry. He specializes in various areas ranging from the top and bottom line growth to IT portfolio transition, client interfacing, and many more. His expertise lies in providing digital transformation leadership in different environments in fierce competition. He is also the lead for Digital Plant Center of Excellence at Accenture. Renowned for his diligent and extremely positive attitude towards his work, let's give a huge round of applause and welcome Mr. SUDIPTA Shah on the stage.
Good morning, everyone. Am I audible? So how was the last 2 days? Brilliant? I'm sure it was. So morning when I started from house, it was drizzling. So my wife said, take the umbrella. Now, knowing Bangalore weather, I know that it's going to stop after some time. And umbrella is always a burden to carry. So I decided not to take. Then when I was in my car, I started thinking, the collar that I have, if this had an extra piece of cloth, which can be treated as a hood, and if there was a device here which can sense the humidity, and when there is a high humidity, if it can just extend and work like a small umbrella, my problem would have been solved. Isn't it crazy? Product development is all about this kind of craziness, right? So I will definitely like to talk about some of those crazy ideas today. So at the onset, let me thank IIBA for creating such a wonderful platform to collaborate and share knowledge. And I think what I am going to do actually next half an hour is, I am going to share some of my first-hand experience of working in the industry for close to 3 decades, which ranges from product to services, hardware to software. And this actually what I would like to give you is a kind of 360-degree perspective of looking at the product, right? And what I would also like to say is that when I look at my experience, I have been kind of engineer at heart, of course, a lot of digital exposure. So digital engineering is my natural destiny, and that's why I am here. Is the clicker working? Let me just try. So today's topic is product mindset. If you have to talk about product today, you can't ignore digital. So if you don't talk about the impact of digital, any discussion on product will be incomplete today. So what I am going to do is, I'm going to give you some nuances of product development in the digital era, for which I will actually show you certain case studies and the videos. And you can, of course, ask me a lot of questions at the end. So, so these are the things which I'm going to cover, as you see here. And at the end, I will open the forum for question and answer that you have. All right. So before I talk about good product, first let us understand what is the difference between a service and product, right? Now, as you know that product can be sold again and again. So does it mean that any repeatable service can be called product? I'm sure most of you will say no, right? The reason is very simple, because it's not only the repeatability, there are many other aspects you have to look at. So what are those? So you have to talk about few other things. I mean, I just listed 3, but there are many more. The reliability, modularity, and customer centricity. These are very important points, right? Now let's look at something which I think will actually give you an idea which is even much bigger than these 3. Let's look at the video.
We have big and beautiful technology at our fingertips. We can use it for good, for evil, or the trivial. But is it enough to make toasters that tweet, washers that text? We're making it our mission to create experiences that improve lives, to make shopping for what's healthy as easy as a swipe, to add empathy to the immigration process, of finding the perfect look without the wardrobe changes. These we've made real, but we're passionate about doing more. Something bigger than a commercial or tweet, because brands are built on experiences. This is a challenge for us all to invent new ways to collaborate with our clients, our partners, and each other, to disrupt and change the way we experience everything, to harness the power of technology and humanity to create something daring, something disruptive, something big, and to make something meaningful for all of us.
So you saw some very crazy ideas, right? The toaster, tweeting, and all of that stuff, right? But at the end, what stands out? One thing stands out very clearly: customer experience. You can have a beautiful product which can actually fulfill everything that you have, all the needs. But if the customer experience is not good, it's not going to be successful. I hope you all agree with that. So this is where the customer experience stands. Now, other very important thing about product is, which is I think different from services, that because you are doing it, I mean you are actually selling it again and again, so you have to actually understand what is your customer before even if you do that. So understanding customer is, and fixing the target customer is very important. Now that you have understood the importance of, okay, so let's talk about, I think I probably have jumped one slide. Let me see. All right. Okay. So let's talk about the product mindset now. Now, see, when it comes to product mindset, there are 2 different ways you can look at it, right? So it means different things for a customer and a digital partner. For a customer, the dilemma is always that whether to use service or product, right? Now, service gives an obvious advantage that you can customize as much as possible. So it's pretty much, I need for this particular purpose, so I create service for that, right? Product means you have a fixed set of things, right? So obviously, there is some kind of dilemma to go for a product. Now, obviously, it depends on what priorities he has. Let's take an example. For example, if the customer is looking for something which is very standardized in a particular industry, then product is a better choice, right? But it's not only that, right? There are many other things, as you see, that the warranty that it provides, the repeatability and the standardization, I think already touched upon. These are the other factors which actually comes into picture when you decide about buying a product. Now for a digital, actually if you look at, I think the bigger transformation has to happen in the digital partner's mind. Now for a digital partner, the challenge is that he actually carries the baggage of a service provider. And he thinks that, if you move away from ongoing service to one-time product, you're going to lose the business continuity, right? So it's a challenge, right? I mean, you are earning revenue in terms of providing service. Now you sell a product and then the product is solving everything for you. There is a problem. But let me tell you one thing. Actually, if you double click that, and I'm actually going to some good amount of time on this later, when you talk about this platform, especially the service platforms, what they're doing is they're helping you to actually unleash the advantage of connected products to create the platforms to provide continual services. So that is where actually that anxiety goes away from the service provider, which is digital partner's mind. So now we have understood what is product mindset. Let's see that, you know, what are the things we can expect out of a product, right? So there are different ways of looking at product. There are different classification available for product. But if you go by Maslow's hierarchy of needs, I think many of you are MBAs. I think I'm sure you have gone through this, right? So what are the things? There are 5 things, right? We call it PSSSS, right? So the needs are physiological, then you have safety, right? Social, then you have the self-esteem, and then on top of everything you have the self-actualization, right? Now, if we really look at it, so in the digital era, the first 2 are almost hygiene factor now, right? So every product provides that. So your journey starts, or your differentiation starts from the 3rd level, which actually also kind of takes care of the desire factor, right? So now that is where actually digital is really playing a differentiated role, because the kind of experience that you can provide, whether it is through augmented reality, whether it's through the virtual prototyping, or whether it is through machine vision, you really create a different kind of experience, right? Now, all this differentiation comes from some good ideas. Now, remember, the ideas, the innovations, they can't be detained in cage. An idea can be leaked very fast. So it's very important for whoever is developing the idea to actually bring it to market fast at an affordable price, and that's why the last 2 points come into picture. Now, with this, let's try to define what are the top capabilities. There are top 7 capabilities you would like to, you know, see in this next video.
In a fast-changing digital world, how can product companies reinvent themselves as creators of smart, connected products? In their new book, Reinventing the Product, Eric Schaefer and David Sovey present 7 core capabilities to help product companies unlock new value from existing products and tap new markets with great value. Flexagility combines flexibility, the willingness and capability to change, with agility, the speed of change.
It means that a product's design needs to be conducted through iterations, a cyclical but forward-looking practice. Customer centricity, as well as the involvement of ecosystem partners, are crucial to obtain real flexagility.
An agile engineering approach is able to continuously inject improvement into digitally and software-driven devices.
Product users demand permanent innovation and maximum adaptability from their devices for the sake of user-friendliness.
This cannot be achieved without agile engineering practices on the manufacturer side.
Smart connected products are data-driven and data-producing devices.
To manage them, hardware manufacturers must data augment all their functions.
For this, businesses need a unified data model, incorporating software and experience information based on customer-specific usage and personalization.
As-a-service business models offer customers more choices and customization than typical hardware product sales.
The new as-a-service world also requires a new entitlement management system.
Some devices are entitled to receive updates and upgrades, while others are not. Some users are allowed to access premium features, while others can only use the basic features.
A workforce creating smart connected products needs new skills, profiles, mindsets, and behavior.
Enable your workforce to think and act along end-to-end experiences and outcomes instead of mere product features and outputs.
Some smart connected products will work as platforms.
In order to create and run a successful platform, it is essential to have the capabilities to build and orchestrate ecosystems that support such product-based platforms.
These ecosystems must identify partners who can contribute technologies, data, or service elements to boost the value and experience of a smart connected product.
Smart Products are programmed to perform actions that transcend cyberspace and enter the physical world. Safety, therefore, becomes a major concern.
Businesses should aim to define security standards that are mandatory for all ecosystem partners. But they should also leverage the power of the ecosystem in order to cross-pollinate on security-relevant solutions for the product.
So it was not an advertisement to buy the book, by the way, but you can read it. I think it is really good. I have bought it and read it. So now that we understand that what is the expectation from a product, let's see how we can achieve them, right? So for obvious reasons, if you look at hardcore industry, right, that is where product is already time tested. So we can definitely learn a lot of leading practices from the core industry. So if you look at, there are broadly two philosophies of product design in the core industry. One is what we call as positive design. This aims at maximizing the benefit of the product, right? And the other is preventive design. Sometimes we call it negative design as well. So this is where actually you try to minimize the damage or failure of a product, right? Now, both these are equally applicable for software. I think we'll all appreciate, because you look at enterprise product, the kind of security threats that they face, I think it's all failure, all damage, all tampering. So you actually can design a product to find out that how many modes it can fail. So I have personally worked on creating the failure mode effect analysis just for a software product, that how many ways a system can be hacked. And then you find out that, what are the effect of it, impact of it, what are the probability of it. You create an RPN and then finally solve it. So those are the things, you all know, Sesh is here, is a veteran industry. We have used this in our maintenance industry so many times. We have looked at how many ways the equipment can failure. We can learn all of them in software industry. So now what is happening is, if you see the digital era with all this augmented reality and other things, the whole new product introduction has been really, really fast. Because you are now able to do a lot of virtual prototypes, right? You don't have to really create a product or create a test bed and test it. Your augmented reality to help you to do all kind of testing. We in Accenture, we are continuously working on creating new virtual prototypes. So you definitely can reduce that cycle. So now let's learn another video to see that how we can learn from the hardware industry. Let's do that.
Direct live from Hanover Messe with the Accenture Tech Lab teams from San Jose. This is a research program around connected products, and we've taken a seat which is live, living services. We're leveraging new technologies such as augmented and virtual reality to accelerate the prototyping, which we've crowdsourced from the outside. This product knows who you are. It adapts to your behavior, to your driving style. This makes for more secure driving. This is the product of tomorrow. We, with the Accenture Technology Lab, are reinventing the future.
All right. So let's see, what impact digital is making. So there is if you look at both the design and development, there's a paradigm shift, right? The immersive experience, I think already I told about it, and I will not talk too much about it because I think you can all understand looking at the next video, that the immersive experience is really changing everything. Your home is your studio. Where you stay, where you live, that can be your studio. You don't have to really open another studio. You can see how we can do that. Let's look at the next one.
You can now see your dream car either at the dealer or using the BMW iVisualizer. Now you can explore every option of the ultimate driving machine at the tap of a finger. Choose your model, change the finish, the trim, the wheels. Then hop inside. Check the dashboard. Turn on the radio, switch on the lights. Get inside the i3 without getting out of your seat. Create your dream machine. Share it with friends. And when you're ready to buy, so is BMW. Send your spec to your local dealer and you're ready to go. Seamless, effortless, smart and simple. We're connecting customers to products like never before, creating new ways to experience and new ways to purchase. You can download the app now.
So you see one thing which comes out very clearly, that a car, which we all know is a, is a commoditized product, you are able to actually customize, right? Which is very close to a software kind of situation. So I think that is where you see that software, hardware are coming closer. And if you see, for example, I worked in one of the previous companies, I think you all heard about Dell. Every single computer you can configure. So what does it mean really? So it is not just, we are learning from how to actually do a new product, introduce a new product, but also actually how to configure all the time. So like every other thing, even the soft product also has gone through the evolution, and every stage has its own sector. So one thing I would like to emphasize here, so if you look at everything that you see here, it is not that you have to get rid of one phase to go to the next. So what is happening here is that every type of product has its own sector and it's all useful, they all coexist. Now if you look at, for example, today, where we stand today, I think the platform is really a point of interest. The reason is very simple, that that's actually bringing the IT service and the products much closer. Now, quickly, just let's double click what is the platform, right? So there are a lot of popular myths about it. I mean, a lot of people say that platform, what is this? It's a collection of some products, right? Definitely that's not the case, right? But one thing you have to understand, that the reason we are talking about platform today is because we are trying to create an ecosystem to actually unleash the benefit of all connected products. It includes the COTS products and also a lot of industry solutions that you create while working with customer. And the final aim is actually to provide services which include even the external stakeholders, right? And that's why the platform is so powerful, because if it is just a product, for example, your client is using a product, his extended enterprise, his suppliers, his customers may not be using that. But when it talks about platform, it's an extended enterprise. So what does it mean? So when is a platform as a service, what does it mean? Let's quickly run this video.
The enterprise engineering landscape is changing, and fast. Maintaining leadership requires rapid innovation, and every enterprise faces several pressing questions. 1. How do we get the most value for our R&D investments? 2. How can we make our technology leverage the power of dynamic ecosystems? 3. How do we make fundamental changes to engineering culture as we pivot to becoming a digital organization? And most importantly, 4. How do we consistently innovate and keep pace with ever-evolving customer needs? The answer? Adopting platform-centric approaches. Today, platform business models are driving the most profound change since the Industrial Revolution, and Accenture is helping clients develop new products and platforms power their businesses into the future. As growing R&D and maintenance costs pinch development budgets, we accelerate your pace of innovation through our service offerings: core platform engineering, platform enablement, software product engineering, and device engineering. Accenture's end-to-end product and platform engineering services meet your challenges head-on, delivering faster time to market, cost reductions, increased operational efficiencies, and stronger revenue streams. Boost your speed to innovation and discover how Accenture can help you thrive in the platform economy at accenture.com/PPES.
So it was is a short one, but if you see that, I think it probably addresses one of the big concern that is there in the customer's mind, right? The continuity part and the speed part, right? And then how you actually connect the larger enterprise into your ecosystem. Now, these are all a lot of videos you might have seen already. Now, let me share with you a real case study. This is from resources industry, which you will probably kind of appreciate that how really that journey has actually happened. So how we actually moved from product to platform, right? So let's look at a quick one. So if you see here, so this is, so there are certain business domains that we are catering to when it comes to resource industry. This is one part of it. There are a lot of applications which is already there, right? Now, when you're moving to a platform, I think it's not just a one-to-one mapping, it's actually looking at the key business KPIs that you have to address in each functional domain. And then we have to see that how the applications inside the domain can actually interact with them to meet the business KPI. So it's not about just creating two interfaces between two different applications, right? It's actually to meet that particular need, particular business KPI which client has given to us, how we can address that through all the interface developed. And many a time it can happen the COTS products may not be able to do it fully, right? That's where you have to create your own adapter or accelerator, you have to bring your industry solution or POV, you have to develop based on that and plug in so that finally it becomes an integrated platform. That's the whole idea, right? So now just a quick glimpse. So this is something like a as is state, right? So you have, I think all of you have seen this kind of thing. So you have a value chain of customer and there are different COTS applications, I think range of applications as you see under this. Again, if you do a system integration project, client will say that, okay, I want an interface between these, that, all of that, right? So you create an estimate and all of that. But the end goal, what is the end goal? End goal is the same thing that I said. So actually you have to meet the business KPIs and it is not about giving away the system back to the customer. If you can actually own that platform, become an extended enterprise for your client and perform in the service in such a way that they meet all the business KPIs. So the important part of this transition or transformation is that all the business transition happen in cycle. So you don't have, you are creating a system and you are actually performing on the service on top of it. So if you see here, this is how it may look like. It's an example, okay, don't get into the details. So you see from applications, we move to a platforms, which is the key part of it that you don't see any application here. It's completely application agnostic. Doesn't matter what application you use. It doesn't depend on the choice of application that customer has or the supplier has. Your supplier may be, working on SAP and your client might be working on Oracle, doesn't matter. As long as you can actually meet those specific things, and there are a lot of industry assets which are plugged inside this. So the end goal is, again, to meet the business KPI for the customer. I think with this, I think I wanted to end my monologue and want to open the floor for questions. I think it's a journey together, right? So all of us have to hold hand together and have this journey. It's a big journey for us to move to the platform. All right, so questions? Yeah, please. Yeah.
Am I audible? How open are capital intensive companies like Saudi Aramco and British Petroleum, how open are they to actually allow outsourcing companies to set up their devices and actually work set up their IoT devices in their systems and ensure that they improve upon their processes? I mean, are they open to sharing data with us, or are they still reluctant and still in the pilot phase? Have they fully implemented projects, or which phase are we talking of?
All right, very good question. So I think you gave a very extreme example. Let me tell you, Saudi Aramco, and Sesh knows it. we have been always in trouble with this. So I don't want to discuss too much of a client confidential thing in this forum, but of course there are quite extreme examples in resource, I think you took resource industry, which I think let's not talk about because there are other factors. But let's take this question as a more generic question that, you know, how you actually deal with the, especially when it comes to IoT, because you mentioned that you are dealing with a lot of operations data, right? A lot of operations data, and they may be, I mean, a lot of clients may not actually want to expose that outside. So what happens? So let me tell you one thing. So there is a clear, and that is the same question, by the way, I had in one of the client visits. So there are obviously different layers. So if you see here, I can call out three main layers in this. One is, of course, your data ingestion. Second is your data analytics, and third is all kind of visualization, right? Now the data ingestion layer, there are a lot of ways you can actually mask it and still perform the analytics. It's not that you have to have all the data. Your algorithm, your rules will work on it, it will give you the insight, and you can perform all your other activities, actions, visualization actions, you can perform that. So you really don't have to get all the data and bring to your system and do this, right? So there are ways to do it. See some hands raising.
No more questions, audience? Okay.
You have confused everybody, or like that's what I'm thinking.
Hi, this is Harry. So in the journey together, now we talked about product and now to platform, what next? What are we thinking for future?
Sure. So I'll tell you, so the platform is going to remain. So you said what next, right? So if I want to break this question in two parts. One is that what next, that's your first part. Second is this a journey, is it a jerk or is it a real transformation, smooth transformation? So first question is, this is going to remain, right? The platform, if you look at, it is not really taking the products from the product licensing from the vendors, it is not, right? And I'm saying that I have worked in at least 5 to 6 projects where we worked with the vendors and the clients together to create one single platform, and it's running. I don't want to mention the clients, but it is working for years, right? So it is going to remain. The next question, whether it's a jerk or there is a smooth transition. So if you look at, it was a very, very natural transition from where we started, right? So your desktop utility, your client server environment, then your cloud, and then now you are talking about a platform. Now, technologically, is it a really big thing, big jump? No. Answer is probably no. But if you look at from a business objective, it's really a paradigm shift, right? So it's going to be there. Yeah.
Audible? Yeah. My question is that if companies which belong to core sectors start developing these kind of competencies, then don't they pose a threat to the business models of companies like Accenture, TCS, Infosys? Because they would definitely possess domain knowledge. For example, we saw the case of BMW. This same solution, BMW can sell this to Honda, Mercedes as an IT solution itself, rather than selling its own automobiles. So what do you think about the business models of these IT or tech companies which provide these services?
Again, good question. So let me tell you, every industry, I think now good that we have switched from resources to automotive, so we have a slightly different example. A lot of people who are from that industry, they're feeling a little bored, but yeah. So let me tell you, in automotive industry, every industry there are certain problems which is actually a transformational problem, which is kind of creating a disruption in that industry, and if you don't do that, you probably lose out to your customers. When you talk about automotive industry, what are those? I think many of you have heard of CASE, right? You know that, connected, automotive, and self-driven and electrified, those are the things. So now if you go by that, those are the things where a lot of companies are investing their energy. Now, if you're talking about, let's say, creating a connected platform for them, right, where they need a lot of data, for example, the customer data to be used for creating a better experience for them, I think that is not a problem, because you know the customer is a customer. Whether it's a BMW customer, whether it's a Honda customer, they're all the same, right? So there's nothing hidden. I mean, basically you can't hide that kind of data. So it's very much a consortium which is working towards creating a better experience to other customer. But if you're looking at some of the very, very niche kind of stuff, which, something which is really taking them to a different, like Uberization and other things. So then probably yes. So there are certain companies, they are working in silos. But I'll tell you, I have experience of working with a company called Design Affairs, which is one of our partners. So there's many companies like that. So they actually work on a very niche scale things. And it's not about the mass. It's not that you are losing out thing, because they work very, very closely with a company to create new ideas for that industry. Does that answer your question? I think from the rear side, I don't know, you guys are sleeping or you are hearing, or I'm so boring that you are totally confused.
The question that I want to ask is like, when we talk about a product, right, where is that actual business need coming in? Is it still the business problem that is building the product feature, or is it like, since you're from Accenture, is it the innovation that is actually driving the product features?
So, when you said requirements of a product, I think as if you have seen one of the slides where I was talking about those Maslow's hierarchy, and also I talked about the 4 things, right? Definitely need you cannot deny. Need is you can't deny. But what is happening, there are 2 kinds of products. Let me tell you, there are 2 kinds of products. One is a product which is mature enough, which is commoditized, like whether it's an automobile, or whether it's a television, or whether it's all the daily gadgets that you use. So those kind of products, you really can't talk about the basic needs, because they are all done, right? So if you really have to now create it's not about new product creation, it is about new product introduction, in the sense that you actually bring, it's actually an improvement to the existing product, right? So in those cases, obviously it's not the need, it's actually the innovation which really drives it, right? But then there are also products which are getting created, right? Now the new products that you see today getting created is actually many a time is an add-on to an existing product. So you can still treat them as a new product. So that's why I was referring to that, the good old, the core industry, where you have different kind of processes for a new product and existing product. Now some of you probably know that there are 2 different, DMA-IC, like improved control, DMA-DV. So there are different process which is actually exists for a new product as well as an existing product. So we need to follow them.
We still have time for one more question if there is one. All right, sir, I think that is it. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's once again thank Mr. SUDIPTA Shah. Thank you so much, sir, for enriching our knowledge on the different aspects of product mindset, basically. And that you emphasized on the design part of it. And also you gave us interesting examples on different sorts of product, agile, modular. And he also gave us an absorbing insight on platform as a service. And thank you once again for engaging our audience in the last real case study which you did. So let's again collectively thank Mr. SUDIPTA Shah. And let's wait for another 5 minutes. We still have time, so we'll wait for the audience to move out and move in if you want to change the sessions. So we'll start the next session in another 5 minutes. Thank you, people.